Everything's moving in opposites. Heels are gliding up the wall, sacrum's pushing down into the floor. Coccyx is moving into the wall, crown of the head is pushing away. Head is just slightly lifted off, enough to put a piece of paper between you and your head. Eyes are looking down between your thighs to put the dura mater under tension, and then maximum extension of elbow and wrists, maximum external rotation, arms in line with the ears, and press your palms away from your body. And while we're resting, let's continue with our exercise demonstration for exercises that are going to help release tension on the nerves. And right now, I'm going to be taking you through one of my favorite go-to ELDOAs. It's going to be the L5-S1 ELDOA. This is one of my favorites every time I have a patient who comes to me with sciatica. This is my go-to. And off the top of my head, I cannot think of a single patient who has not gotten sciatica relief by doing the L5-S1 ELDOA. With regard to the L5-S1 ELDOA, if there is any type of compression in that area, typically the L5 is going to be the most affected, and it's going to affect the sacral plexus. This could affect things like bowel control, bladder control, and the nerve that's going to be most affected, obviously, as I've been stating for this entire time, it's going to be the sciatic nerve. That can manifest as numbness, tingling, or pain in the posterior thigh, leg, and also in the foot. And also, it can manifest in pain with regard to the lateral calf and the dorsal surface of the foot or the top of the foot. Some other things is you may notice that you have some weakness with regard to your big toe extension or the great toe, and then that could manifest as difficulty heel walking. So if you are unable to walk on your heels, it could be an issue with regard to your L5-S1, and the L5-S1 ELDOA would be an amazing exercise to do, or even if you have any issues related to the sciatica or low back pain in general. The L5-S1 ELDOA can't go wrong. Doesn't matter what your issue is through the L5-S1 ELDOA. We are going to be in a supine position for the L5-S1 ELDOA, and you would want to perform it up against the wall. For the purpose of this demonstration, I am going to be performing it up against the massage table, but when you are performing this at home, or if you are prescribing it to a patient, instruct them to do it up against the wall. What you would want to do is get into a side-seated position to start. Then, once you are nice and close and your sacrum is right up against the wall, we are going to turn and roll onto our backs. From this position right over here, we want to make sure that our butt is touching the wall, and we want our heels roughly 1 fist width apart. So they should be at the level of the ischial tuberosities approximately. From this position, we want to go ahead and we are going to glide our legs up the wall. So we want to maintain maximum extension of the knees. We want retroversion of the pelvis. And then at the heels, we are doing pseudo-inversion. Pseudo-inversion means we're doing a combination of dorsiflexion by pointing the toes toward our heads, and we are doing inversion by pointing the soles of our feet inward. We then want to go into medial rotation of the femurs by turning those toes in, just enough that the toes are not touching. If the toes are touching, we've gone too far into medial rotation. Then we've worked everything at the lower limb. Let's work at the pelvis and core. We want to maintain retroversion of the pelvis or a posterior pelvic tilt. We want to press the spine, the lumbar spine, down into the ground. So we want a flat lumbar spine, a flat thoracic spine. Try to keep your abdominals relaxed. At the chin, we want retropulsion of the cervical spine. So we're going to tuck that chin in. Then everything is moving in opposite directions. The heels are gliding up the wall. The sacrum is pushing down into the floor. The coccyx is pushing into the wall. The crown of the head is pushing away from the wall. And then the last thing that we need to do is just go ahead and we need to set up the arms. We want to go maximum extension of the elbows and wrists, maximum external rotation, and then we want to bring the arms up to go to so that our biceps are in line with the ears. We don't want to be touching the floor. We want them just hovering. And then with the head, we want the head just off enough that you could slide a piece of paper underneath the crown of your head. And with your eyes, you're looking down between your thighs to put the dura mater under tension. So again, going to recap everything. Heels, 1 fist width apart, roughly the level of the ischial tuberosities. Maximum extension of the knees, dorsiflexion and inversion of the ankles, medial rotation of the femurs, just enough that the toes aren't touching. We want retroversion of the pelvis. We want a flat lumbar spine, flat thoracic spine, retropulsion of the head by tucking the chin in. Everything's moving in opposites. Heels are gliding up the wall, sacrum's pushing down into the floor. Coccyx is moving into the wall, crown of the head is pushing away. Head is just slightly lifted off, enough to put a piece of paper between you and your head. Eyes are looking down between your thighs to put the dura mater under tension, and then maximum extension of elbow and wrists, maximum external rotation, arms in line with the ears, and press your palms away from your body. You would hold all of those components for 1 minute. Once you're done, you could go ahead and relax one arm at a time. So take one arm into flexion, Area extension, relax. Other arm, relax. Bend one leg, bend the other leg. Slowly come on out of it. And after 1 minute of holding that position from the time that you get into the final position, you are done with the ELDOA. That is the L5-S1 ELDOA. If you have sciatica or if you have any problems with any of the issues that I've just mentioned, go ahead. L5-S1 ELDOA. It's one of my favorites. And again, off the top of my head, I can't think of a single patient that I've prescribed this exercise to where they have not gotten immediate relief. So if you do happen to have any type of sciatic issues, the L5-S1 ELDOA should be your go-to exercise. But that concludes all of the exercises for today. Tomorrow, I'm going to be taking you through some more nerve gliding exercises. But for today, our rest period is up. It is time for the 10th and final set. That was just a tiny taste of what can be found in my members only section. If you enjoyed it, become a member for only $5 a month to get access to hundreds of member only videos.